right, fellow Americans and the people all over the world that are listening, it is another bonus episode for you guys. We are still working with myself and Will. Manny's taking the week off, some well-deserved week off. We all three of us hopefully be back next week, back in the swing of things. But we are treading right along here to the bonus episode. We are doing a Voidz and Shadow Puppets song here. Will, I don't think you've heard this one. If you have, I guarantee you don't remember it. So you're about to kind of get that experience here.
Nice.
It's gonna be a good time. We are gonna be doing a song called Pink Ocean by the Voidz and a song called The Bourne Identity by the Last Shadow Puppets.
Both interesting names.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Do you recognize any by the names?
I know Pink Ocean because I see it like when I just search up the Voidz. I see it like it's like a popular song that pops up, but I never listen to it because I try not to listen to so many songs. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Well, Pink Ocean. It's another song off of the Voidz second LP called Virtue. And then the song for Last Shadow Puppets is a song off of Everything You've Come to Expect. So the album that Miracle Aligner and all those guys are on.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. So Virtue was from 2018. And Everything You've Come to Expect. I need to double. Somehow I don't remember what year that was released, even though we've talked about it like 1,000 times. 2016. Okay, got it. So 2 years ahead, separate from each other. This song, I think, if I'm remembering it, what does it sound like? I don't actually remember, so I'm excited to get to it. But let's start with the Shadow Puppets this time. I don't remember what you started with last time, so we're gonna start with the Shadow Puppets.
Okay.
The Bourne Identity. I know that Alex is a fan of that movie. I've read that online, and I don't think it's just a fan fiction because I've read it multiple times. Maybe if you want to fact check me while we're listening. But before we get into it, let me give you guys some Spotify stats here, which is something that a fan came up with, and it's been a fun thing to do. So I do appreciate who recommended us that we check. But this one's been streamed 12.0 million, kind of on the dot, times, The Bourne Identity, off of Everything You've Come to Expect by the Last Shadow Puppets, Alex Turner's solo band. Did you check me there?
I'm looking at the meaning. So once you're done saying those facts, I can read the meaning real quick.
Go ahead.
This song shows Alex Turner struggling with his public persona. In the years since his main band, Arctic Monkeys, catapulted him to fame, he has gone from a shy, soft-spoken young man to a rock icon by an admission of his friends, noticeably more comfortable in his own skin. On this track, Alex seems to be confessing that even he is unsure who the real Alex is anymore, aka the Bourne Identity.
Oof. Heavy shit. Heavy shit, yes. All right. Well, let's get into this. You ready to give it a listen?
Hell yeah, brother.
Do it. All right, guys, that was the Bourne Identity, actually the closing track of Everything You've Come to Expect. Will, how do you feel after the first time you've heard that one?
I'm very confused. Yeah, very confused.
Confused? Why?
Confused. It's not what I was expecting.
No?
I know the album, cause it doesn't match the album, the rest of the album, but it's not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. It was very fast paced.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna slow down. The whole time it did not slow down.
Yeah.
The whole time, and
yeah.
It was cool, but just I wish it would have slowed down. I feel like I was gonna have a heart attack.
Well, there's different versions of it. There's EP versions of it and stuff like that. It's a little bit different, kind of like the Dream Synopsis. I think the Dream Synopsis would have been a better song to end the album on, personally. I do think this one kind of comes out of nowhere, especially being on the last track. But I think the melody is beautiful. The violins that come in, the orchestra. This whole album's just kind of perfect when it comes to orchestral stuff. Go ahead.
It is beautiful, yeah. But I feel like the music, with his voice, and then you have the music, I feel like that's what I mean. It's usually, one overtakes the other, and it sounds like they're conflicting. It sounds like the music's conflicting with his voice. Even though it works together, I don't know. It sounded like the music was, louder than his voice. You could, I was, struggling to hear what he was saying, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it was too fast-paced or something. I don't know.
I just think the the drums are pretty heavy, the violins are pretty heavy to a point where like the hi-hats and the cymbals kind of add to it. I get what you mean because it definitely sounds very trebly. The bass is very hard to hear in this, so it's very focused on the treble in general. But again, like the melody of this thing is beautiful, and the harmonies in this song is beautiful. It's an acoustic song, so there's not really much electric to it. It's really kind of Alex playing acoustic while Miles is playing electric, the usual type stuff.
I did appreciate that. I was like, oh, nice, dude, acoustic.
Yeah, and I think there's just another example of Alex's strong lyrical ability to kind of take a song, kind of putting himself down the whole time. Because again, like you read before, like a lot of the lyrics in this one are kind of explaining how he's just not like there's talking about how a glass, like he's a glass bottle but it's cracking on the bottom, like it still works but it's cracked, and he's talking about how he's just not where he wants to be, and he's like not the person he wants to be.
Lyrically the song is beautiful though. I was like the lyrics to it, it's just like the music part of it, I was like like it doesn't match the lyrics, like it's a very fast-paced heavy song, and when you read the lyrics it's like, oh crap. Like that, but you just said, like, the glass-bottomed ego, I'm still afloat, but you can't see the cracks appearing in the bass. Like,
that's beautiful. I love that lyric. And it's funny how we go from, some songs where it's literally the other way around and so quickly we get there. But he literally says in it, fucking beating myself up. Like, that's what this main song is. That's, like, the main focus of the song. I dreamed every single impossible dream. And now we're kind of getting to lyrics too quickly, but... what stood out to you the most in this song musically or vocally? What was it?
It was definitely his voice. Like, I didn't care too much. I did like the acoustic, I did with the strings, but I didn't care too much. I kind of wished like they would have quieted it down and it would give Alex more of a chance to shine, because like his lyrics in the song are fantastic. So I would like to hear more of his voice.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like his voice kind of sounds drowned out by the other instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it? Okay. It's really... I think the orchestra is what grabs me, because, again, it is not a musical masterpiece on anything but the orchestra. The acoustic's kind of hard to hear besides the opening part. The electric is in there every time to strike a chord, and the bass isn't... I didn't hear much bass. That's usually where my ear goes first, but I think I think this song could easily be, like, a slowed-down Alex song with just the orchestra, and it would sound better. I do agree. The orchestra.
Like, maybe have it come in at the end, but like I would strip everything off and just have him with an acoustic and him like Miles in the background.
There's acoustic versions of this too, which we'll have to listen to. So I do agree. Okay. Like now that you're pointing it out, like I agree. There's some pieces that you can't hear you'd like to hear. I like the orchestra though. That's kind of like where my mind goes first. But it's definitely a song. I don't think it holds a candle to kind of what we talked about last week with The Time Has Come Again. That song was a very pleasant surprise where it was slower. You could hear the acoustic. His vocals were reverbed, and then the orchestra came in. That's a perfect example of how it all can be done like perfectly. Again, I do think, like I said at the beginning, this song kind of comes out of nowhere, and I don't think it belongs where it is on the album. But I still enjoy it. I just think it's another beautiful work of art from this band that just seems to just make beautiful songs. That's the most common word I can use to explain these guys. But yeah, and then in terms of meanings, Will kind of got into it. There's not much shit I could find in terms of like details with this one for some reason, besides what people on Reddit were able to talk to me about. But Will, did you notice anything lyric wise that stood out to you from your first listen?
Let me put the lyrics back up.
Yeah, it's
he mentioned food.
Did he? Did he see? I'm telling you, dude. He just always talks about food.
And let me see the I think the second or third verse. He said, "Spill the unspillable beans."
Yeah, dude. He just cannot refrain from talking about food.
So besides that one, let me see. I have to go through the lyrics again.
I still love that glass, but you know what? That's honestly a thing that I could see myself getting a tattoo of.
Oh yeah.
Glass bottomed ego.
Just that one line.
Just that line, because like I know the rest. But if people ask me what that means, I'd literally reply with, what is it? The rest of it.
It's still it's still afloat, but you can't see the cracks appearing in the base.
Yeah, that's what I would say to them in fucking response.
Oh,
Yeah.
just think about that. Like,
Yeah.
imagine. Oh man, that's just so that's deep, man. That's still afloat, but you can't see the cracks.
Yep.
Oh man, that just hit me.
Yeah. That's a lyric right there.
It's like you're trying, but like you don't know deep down what's really going on in people's minds under the surface.
He's just such a poet when it comes to lyrics. Like, now I know jealousy. I caught you talking to the real me. Can't you tell how unhappy that shit makes me? Like, cause he's not happy with the real him. If you hear him calling, promise you'll ignore him. So the real him, he really doesn't want you to talk to him. He's kind of my enemy. Like, I love how he's like talking in like third person, or he's talking like it's another person. But I still think like, and then there ain't no ejector seat. Like, that's so cool. They're so just like cinematic with these lyrics. It's crazy.
I like this one. I feel like the sequel you want to see, but you were kind of hoping they would never make.
Yep. Yeah, he's so good with stuff like that. Alex is he's just one of the best lyricists of our time, and I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for anything he does. But that's my they're my few main ones that stood out to me for sure. If you're looking for a beautiful lyrical genius of a song, this is this is one for you. Like, Will's right with the music. He might not be a major fan of how it's mixed, but again, I encourage you to listen to the acoustic version of it, because that's a whole different ballgame. But lyrically, it's amazing. You got anything else on lyrics?
No, I think we pretty much covered it. It's beautiful. Yeah,
it is. Let's get right into the fan comments. We got a good bit of it here. Tubester404 said, best the last Shadow Puppet song out of all, and I'll fight someone who says otherwise. Reese Darby's wife said, not only the sound is amazing, but also the lyrics are so personal and breathtaking. Do you have something, Will?
No, that guy said he's gonna fight someone that doesn't like it.
Yeah.
What if I don't like it?
Shubix92 said, I love the line, and I dreamed every single possible dream. I just can't remember any of the details. King of Reality 69 said, great song, one of the best from the album. Snoo Chipmunks 3453 said, let's just have a buzz, because by the time I'm done fucking beating myself up, there'll be nothing left to love. And I feel like the sequel, you want to see it, but you were kind of hoping they would never make it. Honestly, same. I never felt closer to a song that Alex wrote. It just feels so real and sad, but I honestly enjoy listening to it more than other Shadow Puppet songs, because especially I can relate to it. So that's awesome when you can relate to a song. That's super important.
That whole line is like a whole situationship. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
a sequel you want to see. Like, all right, I want to see where this goes, but I actually don't want to date you. Like,
yep,
that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Twisted Ecstasy 180 said, bloody masterpiece. Surprised it wasn't the closer. It is the closer though. Oop, clapping. It is the closer though. I think. Yeah, it definitely is. Or is this the bonus version? Hang on, guys. It is the deluxe edition, and I might feel like an idiot. Maybe it is a bonus song. I gotta look that up. Let me see.
Oopsie, you made oopsies.
I guess, but I'm not. It wasn't telling me that there was a non-bonus version. Oh no, I'm an idiot, guys. The Dream Synopsis was the final song, but on the see, here we go. On the digital edition, the Bourne Identity was the closer.
Digital.
Yeah, which is the one you stream. So that's why I got confused. Yeah, sorry about that. But I mean, I don't think it should be the closer. So I don't agree with that at all. Eamon Wingman said, best song Alex Turner has ever written, sonically, melodically, lyrically, and emotionally. That's I can see that for sure. AMR Todd said, I feel like it's the end of an era. He is at peace with the character he was trying to impersonate, and now they are one. Absolute masterpiece. That's a good way of looking at it. Haven't Stopped Loving. Seems he did a lot of beating himself up around that time. I hope he's happier now. I think he is, especially how some of the Arctic Monkeys stuff sounds these days and the lyrics that he's writing. I think he's pretty happy. Karakolazu869 said the lyrics are so vulnerable and clearly heartfelt. It's one of the most relatable songs Alec has written. I just love it. Yeah, a lot of people Here we go. T_Yas. It's such an amazing song, totally underrated. I feel like these lyrics are so honest and the imagery is so vivid and raw. I so hope he continues to make songs like this, hoping for the last Shadow Puppets 3. So are we. So are we.
Mm-hmm.
Will, what are you thinking lyric wise? Or
Lyric-wise.
not lyric wise. Ratings wise, what do you got?
It hurts more to say because I love the lyrics part of it, but I don't like the way the song sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have to go with like a 3.8.
A 3.8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I love Alex's voice in it, but like it's like the orchestra and everything. It's just like so overpowering. I'm like I want to strip down the song just a little bit, and it's like and it's not when I would like I probably want to hear it again in like a different speaker, maybe on my headphones or something. Definitely gonna give it a chance again, and hopefully it'll grow me more. But for now, like a 3.8.
Nice. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. This is really hard. I'm probably gonna have to give it like a 3. Oh God. This is another example of just it's such a hard choice. There's been so many good things. I'm leaning towards a 3.7. That's kind of where my mind's going. 3.6, 3.7. I do think it's beautiful, but again it is and it's not. I'm gonna try to get rid of the word basic out of my vocabulary. But it's just a little bit too formulaic for me. I think the orchestra part is gorgeous. And that's really what saves most of it for me. So I'm going to give this thing a 3.7 personally. What was your ranking again?
I said 3.8.
3.8? Okay.
Yeah.
I
think
didn't
I
need...
just go for like I don't like odd numbers like 3.7, 3. I did like a 3.5 because that's like right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like a 3. I'll never probably whatever say like a 3.7. What makes it like a 7? Like
this is where where it feels 3.8 is like 0.2 away from a 4, whereas 0.3 has that little bit of distance. That's just kind of where my mind is on it.
That makes sense.
It's just tough because I gave Glass in the Park a 3.9. So it's tough for me to give it what I give it, but I think that's just where I don't want to second guess it. Kind of like what you said earlier.
I miss those songs.
That's
I was listening to that album today.
Submarine
one.
Yeah, but
It was all nice and sunny today in the morning.
Yeah,
laying in bed all day.
It's a good song for that. That's a really good song.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to move on to Pink Ocean by the Voidz. It was a song off of Virtue, their 2018 solo LP. Not solo LP, but the Voidz LP. It is a song that I don't think you're going to expect. It's another song where the sound of it is you're going to be a little bit perplexed by. But again, I think that's the strength of the Voidz. I think having a different experience is kind of what they're all about. So, you ready to give this guy a listen?
Yes, I'm going to get up and stretch while we listen.
All right, let's do it. Oh, God, guys, just for some context, I went to go around the table and I smacked my foot on Will's chair. Not once, but literally twice on my way back. While the song was still playing, you just hear me go, ah! And and I'm on the ground and I smack my head on the door. I just beat the shit out of myself for dude, everything hurts.
On the way back to church, so you fucking
yes, fuck, ouch, God, my foot.
That's what you get.
Anyway, oh my God, that was Pink Ocean by the Voidz. By the way, it was streamed 17.4 million times on Spotify. Will, I guarantee that's the first time you heard that song, but real quick, Pink Ocean is a song about being consumed by the faults of the world we all live in. The main character, interpreted by Julian Casablancas, voices his terrible feelings of being trapped, initially hidden by the desire of seeing still something good in his life, and he declares his will to leave the world by suicide. In order to explain his desperate choice, he used a metaphor of the pink ocean, only made of his tears, in which he's drowning without any possibility of being saved, as it seems there's no place he could go. Not a super uplifting song, lyrically. Again, it's this album. Yeah, this album's very down. When you think about Pointlessness and this one, and then you got curious. But what was your first impressions on it?
I was vibing the whole time. I didn't like. I was looking at the lyrics, but I wasn't like really like digesting the words. I was just like vibing because the freaking the beat, everything was just like great.
So
Now
I
it
want
makes me feel
to
sad.
point out this one reminds me a shit ton of Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
For many different reasons. Not the fact that it's called Pink Ocean, but the synth in it. It sounds like the synth in "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" multiple times. Anything from the "Wish You Were Here" album, and also from Animals. Like a lot of the synths that were in it, the guitar slash synth stuff.
It was very like
sounds
space,
like a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah, it was like the space, like you're in space kind of feeling. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So it definitely is. It sounds like it's inspired by Pink Floyd big time for sure. The "Wish You Were Here" and Animals album, like it has that vibe big time. And like the whole song, like talk about formula and basic. This whole song is the same thing. It's burn, 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 burn. Like it's the whole thing, but it's still fresh. I do think it's a song that does go on a little bit long. Personally, I think it could have been cut a minute or a minute and a half early.
Yeah, but like imagine driving to the song like you're going to like the beach or like you're on a back road or something or somewhere where it's like you have to put on some good music to get to your destination. This would be definitely a playlist.
It's a perfect example of a song that we've done 1,000 of these at this point, but a song that sounds like super uplifting and vibey, but the lyrics are very kind of down. But you don't even really notice it. Like if you put this song on, you're just trying to vibe. You're not even gonna notice the lyrics being that way.
I feel like we can say this, and I agree with you. I feel like we could say this now because we covered the other song, but like there was parts of the song that reminded me of like Human Sadness. When it's like
Yeah,
there's, like, there's parts
the
where-
weird parts.
yeah, like the auto tune, like the very weird, like just like out of place parts. Yeah, like he does that a lot in like Human Sadness too, where he's like up and down, very high falsetto,
Yeah.
with like the guitar follows him and instruments. Yeah, so it's like style of that song.
Yeah.
I've heard that so long. Yeah, it's crazy.
Human Sadness is so good, but
amazing.
this one's good. This is not on the level of Human Sadness, but there's parts of
No.
it. There's parts of it that sound like that.
Yeah, well, of course, because like it's Julian, but like it's really cool that it's I don't think it was like on purpose, but like it's cool that he has like different sounds and like different like incorporations. You go, oh yeah, like if you didn't like let's say like you do like a trivia night, you're like, who is this song? And you know the voice and his jokes, and you hear this, you're like, oh yeah, it's Julian.
Yeah.
You would just know just because of the sounds and everything.
I personally, which is crazy, don't think this is one of the Voidz songs where it's about Julian. I think not about Julian, but where it's like what stands out. For me, it's usually Julian and his melody. For me, this is all about the music and the synths and the effects that the Void and the experimentations the Voidz did. Julian kind of takes a back seat in terms of showing what he can really do. A lot of the song is done in his falsetto, which I love, but he has a part where he goes back to his normal voice, like versus the usual. But you don't get a lot of that. A lot of this is really just kind of sitting back and enjoying the vibe of the experimentation they had on the music. So I almost like to think of it as an instrumental song, even though it's not, because the instrumentals in this, to me, are what this song is about. Do you kind of agree with that?
I was thinking of it was like a song, and I'm trying to look it up right now, but it's like a song that's like perfectly like it would belong in like MLB or like some kind of sports game. When you're, like, going through the menu or like making your character or something.
That's a really good point.
Especially like these little like that bass line, like the little parts where you stop singing, the solos.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
There's not much in terms of what's funny is I'm talking about the instrumentals, but it's tough to hear the actual instrumentals. The whole thing is like super experimental. Like it's a lot of effects and a lot of synths and a lot of synth affected guitars.
Psychedelic rock.
Exactly, yeah, psychedelic rock, synth bass. Like there's a lot of that stuff to it, which the Voidz like usually are. So if you're expecting anything different, this isn't going to be different. But in terms of the lyrics, it's another kind of depressing song if you really, really look at the lyrics, which if you want to kind of be uplifted, I would just ignore the lyrics. Because there's the one main lyric. I do like how he says, I want out of this world, I didn't want it anyway. That's a cool way of looking at it. We're like, we're all born, like we're not chosen to be born, but we're here. And this is kind of like the hand that I'm dealt, and some people don't want to deal with it, and that's kind of like what the meaning was talking about. I will not go back, I get love, not enough, and then I went out of this world, I didn't like it anyway. That's kind of just where it always goes. One eye, catch my look, and be my side eye like a crook. I was at your house, but you never came, and I wanted you. All the lights I face are following. I went out of this world. Like, it's kind of like Pointlessness. It's not a lot of great lyrics in there, but it's his delivery to those lyrics that even makes it interesting in the first place.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the point of the song where it's like, it's kind of like Julian's mind, and you gotta appreciate like that he's sharing this with us and like putting it out there. But it's like those like cycling thoughts that you'll get, just like your mind will just keep going through, and you're like,
Yeah.
You try to just like ignore it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Did anything stick out to you lyric wise for this one?
I'm gonna take a look at the lyrics again. Not really. I was looking at the lyrics, but it's another one where it's just like a great melody. Let me see.
It's not one where anyone's really gonna listen to this and be like, holy shit, this guy's a poet. That's definitely not kind of the vibe you're gonna get. A lot of people kind of said that, like in the fan comments, which we can get to, but not a lot of people kind of focused on. It's a very good musically written song.
The lyrics are kind of just like, I want out of this world, I won't lie anymore, I can't love anymore, and it's kind of just repeating that over and over.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes like the I out of it, whatever, or just because can't love anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not lyrically amazing or like witty or anything like that, but like the singing, the delivery, and the music, everything else is really, really good. Especially its falsetto when it goes back to just like singing like a lower voice.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. In terms of what the fans got here for us, Biz Nunez said, this album dropped a week before my wife and I went to Mexico. It was perfect timing. Nice. Wall Scrabbler said, sounds like a painkiller's bliss. Admiral_Atroshi said, it's my favorite album. It's my favorite from them. Love the bass and the first synth thing that's going on. That's it. Yep, that's the best part. ABCs of Stupid said, the bangerest banger that has ever bangered on this earth. Nice. I'm glad you feel that way. When I Get My Turn said, I always thought it was going to be their entry for the mainstream, but it looks like the honor went to Alienation. Yeah, we have not even gotten to that yet. I don't think this one is even close to what should be their mainstream. I think it's way too repetitive for that, but I do get, like, the sound of it is very casual, so I get that. Spoderman 420 said, I love when Julian gets vibey. Last this. He should make a hyper popper dance album. Yeah, I do agree with that. Boilermaker 999 said, one of the best songs ever written. My very first introduction to the Voidz. Davdas Shred said, honestly think the Voidz is the yang to the Stroats yin. I mean, I agree in some ways. Not every song. I don't think this one really has much Voidz to it, or strokes to it. Stunning Wall 2851 said, good song for me, in my opinion, under Pyramid of Bones, Alienation, and Lazy Boy, but great song. I would agree with that 100%. Luna Corneo said, I will nut in on a squirrel, but I think she means when he's doing the, I'm out of this world. It sounds like he's saying, I will nut on a squirrel.
I gotta hear it again.
That's how I hear. Now I'm not gonna be able to not hear that.
Yeah, it's one of those funny things.
Yeah, thanks for that, Luna. We appreciate that. I will nut on a squirrel. Love that. I will nut on a squill. It makes sense.
The song reminds me of Get Lucky by Daft Punk. The whole,
Does it?
Yeah. Like, that song was on, like, a 2K, I forget which 2K, like, NBA game. But, like, and a part of the song, because like, I guess it's a little inappropriate, they cut out some of the lyrics, so they just put, like, the bass on it. It was like, it's like the little drums. And, because I guess in the game, they cut out the lyrics, and you just have, like, the bit of little funky bass. That's what the song reminds me of, just, like, a really funky, like poppy, like, hype song.
It doesn't remind you of Nut on a Squirrel?
No, I have to hear it again to get that. Yeah. But now I'm not going to be able to get that in my head once we do it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to play it and see because now that she said that, that's all I'm going to be able to hear as well. So thanks for that. That's great.
I love stuff like that. Like when you're like, hey, it actually sounds like they say this, and you can never unhear it again.
It is like, so funny when that shit happens.
What's that? I forget what the name of the song was. Like, I want Joe Biden, need Joe. I forget what's the name of the song.
I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, it's.
Do you know what that
Joe
is?
Biden. I don't know the name. It's like. Oh, I have to do like research
How's the
on
song
it.
go?
I don't know at the top of my head.
Well, come on. Think off the top of your head. Oh my God, Will, come on, man.
You know that I miss it. I don't know. I haven't heard it in so long.
I don't know.
Like no one plays it.
Who sings that? Tears for Fears?
No, I think
Okay.
it's like I don't know. I was gonna say something fucking stupid. I don't know. I forget. It's a good song though, and I feel stupid. I know someone's like listener is gonna listen to this. I'm like, wow. I'm so disappointed in you.
I didn't get anything from that. But anyway, rankings time.
It's like an old school hip hop song. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
What do you got rankings for this?
That's a very good question. You go first.
3.4.
Oh my God! What? 3.4. I thought we were gonna get higher.
No, it is not. And like I kind of knew that right when I heard it, because it's another one of those songs where I wish it would go somewhere else. I'm not content with the same thing. Oh my God, the dog's screaming. Sorry guys, Brendan's saying hello. I'm not content with the same thing happening over and over again. I like the vibe of it, and like you said, if I put it on in the right setting, it's good. But I would never. I'd rarely go on and put this one on and be like, cool, I want to listen to this over and over again. So that's why it's kind of like a mid. But if it came on, I'd skip it sometimes, but not all the time.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
It's there's no way. Again, I'm a Curious stan. The Curious is more fun. Like it's different. I like shit like that. And again, if this song didn't go on for so long too, not only is it the same chords, it's the same thing over and over again. I do think it's perfect for the right setting, but it has to be perfect for a lot of settings for it to be above a 4 for me.
What'd you say?
I said 3.4.
3.4. That's crazy. I was gonna say 3.5.
Really? Dude, how do we keep fucking
like
doing this?
One off. I was gonna say like the 4s, but like you bring a good point, and I'm giving it a little bit too much credit. It is like a little bit too repetitive. Now that I think about it, I was just really like.
Well, no. If you vibed with it more, that stuff might not mean the same to you as it does to me.
No, it does. Like I wasn't like really thinking about that part of it. So if I give it a 4, like, there's some songs where I've gone back and listened to it. I'm like, you know what? It's good, but I couldn't knock a couple points off of that just like because it doesn't compare to some of the other songs in like a good kind of way, like a good comparison. If you know what I mean. Like I'm not trying to like say that this song's way better than this other one, but like it just doesn't hold up against like as good as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So
well, what would
that's
be your
why
final
I say like
ranking for it?
Like, I wish it was like a number. Well, I guess there is a number. Like the highest I would give this is like a 3.8 currently.
All right, and we're putting 3.8.
That's where we're gonna go. 3.8.
Sure.
Just knock out a couple points. It is really good. I'm not gonna lie. It has that really good, just like funky, and it is repetitive. But if you're into that kind of stuff, which lately I have been like EDM and like, I guess lately a coworker had recommended me to listen to like jungle mix kind of music, where it's just like beats and like crazy stuff going on. Kind of like jazzy, but like just more like electro kind of electric.
Yeah. It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool song. Yeah.
3.8s for you today. Nice. A lot of yellows. But alright guys. That was another episode of Karma and Tranquility bonus episode number 10. We will be back next week with episode 11 and bonus episode 11. Next week is Take It or Leave It and When the Sun Goes Down. So we're getting near the end here, boys and girls. Please rate and review, like and subscribe, follow, and all that jazz with 2 Z's. And we love you guys as usual. We will see you next week. And give Manny some kisses for us as well. And hopefully you will be back with us next week, and we will have our full trio, because I'm going to be honest, this is our first time without recording with a third person, and I think me and Will are doing pretty good,
Yeah.
But, you know, it leaves a hole in our band.
You can feel there's something missing, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we started off with something, and I was like,
yeah. We didn't ever want it to come this way, but I'd rather us record and not give you guys a week with no episode than record later. I think keeping a schedule is important when you're a fan of a show, and the minute you don't, the quicker you fall into a thing where like, well, we did it before, we can keep doing it, and then you get lazy. Yep. So quality over quantity for sure, which I hopefully these 2 episodes were enough quality for you. I know it's been a little bit loud in the house, so you probably heard some noise in the background. But again, guys, the thing but when season 2 comes along, we're hopefully gonna have a brand new setup. We're gonna have new mics. It's gonna be a lot different. This like again when we started this thing. It wasn't even meant to be done right away. It took off because so many people interacted with us on Reddit, and we were like, "Holy shit! Well, we got to catch this, this wave while it's hot."
People are listening.
Yeah, just so you guys know, like we're recording on sometimes the week of. This is not all pre-recorded like months ago. Like we're recording this right now, and it's releasing this week.
Yeah, like
so
Donald Glover's album came out today, May 13th.
What?
Donald Glover, Childish Gambino.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's like the day, like we're recording it the day his album came out. So like this is how fresh this is.
What?
Oh, his album came out today.
Yeah.
So we're recording it today. No, we're recording it the day his album came out.
Oh. I thought you were saying
so,
I thought you were giving it. I got it. Yeah,
so
gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. So we're recording it literally on Monday for release on Wednesday and Friday. So give us a little bit of slack. We're trying, but I promise season 2 is going to be a lot better, and we're going to have everything set up to make this a lot better for you guys. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys next week. We love ya.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Hey guys, Jared here. Thank you for listening to the episode. You can find us at Karma and Tranquility on Instagram and Reddit, and Karma Tranquil on Twitter. Our link tree is posted in our description and bios for you to find everything we have to offer. We post a full episode every Wednesday and a bonus episode every Friday.